7.
Welcome.
We left off last week with Gary Young fucking off in South America, living his best life, trying to get around the FDA while running experiments on poor and desperately ill people in rural Ecuador and turning oils into a religious experience. So, enter thieves. Thieves oil is considered an essential or a historic essential oil blend. So the story goes that...
What is his name? Donald Gary?
Yeah, Young.
Okay. I just want to, see him so that I can
He looks
hate
very
him.
generic.
Oh, his name comes right up.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing special about him.
No, he's shitty.
Um,
Shitty with a shitty face. Oh, he definitely got dentures as he got older. Look at those chompers.
So the story goes that the historic oil blend, right?
Mm-hmm.
The story goes that there was a group of actual thieves. Today we would call them burglars. Were breaking into the homes of people who had died or were in the process of dying from the bubonic plague in the Middle Ages and 15th centuries, so 1400s. They'd steal any valuables that those people had.
Mm-hmm.
However, apparently the story goes that these burglars never caught the plague themselves. So probably because they weren't licking the open pustules of the dead bodies in there.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. But at that time, those scary plague doctor masks were a big deal.
Yeah.
So the story is, or the belief is, that these burglars were wearing those plague doctor masks,
That makes
kind
sense.
of posing as doctors.
Yeah.
And the whole reason, if you don't know, do you know why they're shaped like that?
Yeah.
Why they look like that? So the beak actually was full of herbs because
like a
at
filter
the
almost.
time, yes, they believed in the miasma theory of disease, which is that it's bad air that makes you sick.
They're not totally off base.
Right,
sometimes,
right, exactly. For some things, accurate. For other
Yeah.
things, inaccurate.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they weren't totally off base, but basically, in addition to masking the smell of rotting flesh, it would, they believed it would protect you from infection.
Yeah. And
So,
vomiting.
right. So, but because these burglars apparently never got sick,
Yeah.
it was like the thieves' blend of herbs that they were using in their masks.
That's where this name came from?
Yes.
I hate him so much. I hate him so much.
So yeah, the idea is that it's derived from that specific blend of herbs used by those successful burglars.
Which, I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, you're fine.
I'm just...
I think I have it down here. Where is it? Yeah, so... regardless, the Young Living sells the Thieves Household Cleaner, which is an oil blend and a whole ass iteration of the whole Thieves thing. So the ingredients in the household cleaner, the first ingredient is water. The second ingredient is alkyl glucoside. I did it.
Cool.
Sodium methyl 2-sulfurolate, disodium 2-sulfurolate, and then thieves oil, which includes clove oil, lemon oil, cinnamon bark oil, eucalyptus oil, rosemary leaf oil, and then tetrasodium glutamate diacetate.
Wow.
According to the usage, my point is that water is the first ingredient in this bullshit.
So what I'm getting at.
But according to the usage instructions, you're supposed to dilute it even further with water. So, like I said, I don't know if you've ever seen this, but one person I know for sure sells Young Living, always posts about this cleaner and how safe it is to have around her 4 small children. But there's also a safety warning on this bottle to keep it out of the reach of children and to avoid contact with eyes, skin, and mucous membranes.
Oh, interesting.
AKA your mouth. So, just it's still not safe to have around your small children, just like any other cleanser.
Right.
You need to put child locks on your cabinets with cleaning supplies, and don't let your kids suck on cleaning agents, like with or without your supervision. It doesn't matter
Fair.
if it's
Yeah.
from Young Living or
Right.
essential oils, like, don't let them do that. It will harm them. But whatever.
Out of curiosity, is Young Living something that you have to buy it like through, like, do they sell it other places? I'm like paranoid that I've accidentally given money to this company.
No, you can only
Right.
buy it through their website directly or through a Young Living distributor.
Okay, good.
Um,
That's a relief.
oh, what a relief it is.
Because, like, I buy essential oils for, like,
Mhm.
making, if I'm, like, throwing together my own cleaning thing of something, or if I use, like, essential oil diffusers, like, just for, like, fragrance around the house. So as we're talking about this, I'm like, oh my God, am I the problem?
No.
Have I contributed to the problem?
But retail price for a 64-ounce bottle of this cleaner is $129.61.
Get the fuck out of here.
A 14.4-ounce bottle, which is like the small size bottle of like Windex that you'll
Yeah.
see at the grocery store, $33.55.
Get out. Suck it. No way.
Again, like you dilute it into a separate spray bottle of
I don't even care.
mostly water.
That's
but yeah,
absurd.
like, so it lasts forever, which
Go
is
to
the
jail.
selling point.
No.
But yeah, it's such a high price.
No.
$129.
No.
And then if you're a member, which is that $100 a month bullshit, you get it at like a lower rate. But it's not that much lower. It's not like a tenth of the price. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's
Anyway, the Thieves Essential Oil Concentrate, which is separate from the cleaner, on its label calling it a premium essential oil blend. Sells for $51.64 at retail for a 15 milliliter bottle, which is half a fluid ounce, 0.5 fluid ounces. Also, my problem with, I feel like a totally separate problem with Young Living, all of their prices are these bizarro fucking numbers, like $129.61 and $51.64. Like, why is it not an even number?
I've read a theory about that. Something about, like, people are more likely. I don't remember.
I've heard it as like the 99
Yeah,
versus
like
like
then,
the 50.
right.
Like
or as an even dollar amount that they
Yes.
feel like they're spending less.
like yes, if it's a .99, they think they're spending less.
Right.
Than if it's a flat amount.
Right.
But also if it's a flat amount, you're willing to pay more because it seems more luxurious. Because like consider like what Old Navy charges for something versus the Gap.
Right.
It's the same stuff.
Right.
It's just the Gap has everything is $49.50
Oh, yeah.
and whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And cut very wide.
Yes.
They have strange cuts for things.
They do. But yeah, so it's just super fucking expensive, and there is an argument that that what you're getting is a pure essential oil and not adulterated with something else based on the price.
That?
Like if you're getting something for $5 on Amazon, like, and expecting to ingest it and get benefits from it, who knows what you're putting in your body. But I would argue, who knows what you're putting in your body with this shit.
Yeah, to me, you could also just honestly, they could be buying it from Walmart and relabeling it.
I think it can go either way because, like, again, like with Young Living and doTERRA, their whole thing, like, they have this premium essential oil blend, and they also had things called, like, therapeutic grade, which the FDA, like, told them to stop fucking saying that because that's, like, a drug nomenclature.
Right.
So they're not regulated by the FDA. They can't call it therapeutic grade. Like, those words have meaning.
Right.
But in any event, so they call it like a premium essential oil blend, but so they add these names to things, and because they're like, well, that it's good because it's from us, and it's like, if you buy into that, then you can start to justify the excessive cost.
Right.
But the Thieves Essential Oil Concentrate, like, sale page on the Young Living website clears up the actual history of the oil. So, apart from the bubonic plague, it was formulated by our old friend Gary, who allegedly created, quote, from research recorded in the archives of the British Museum Library about a group of 14th century European perfumers and spice traders who rubbed oils on themselves while they robbed the dead and dying, unquote. And leaves out a key detail that we don't know what the fuck those Black Plague burglars were rubbing on themselves. Like, we don't know. So, it, like, could have been pig shit that they were rubbing on themselves.
And also, why are you making this sound like an inspiring story?
Because that's
horrific.
That's the grift.
It's like one step above grave robbing, and they're
Yeah,
like,
but-
look, but they didn't die of the plague.
Well, there's that part, but also, like, you didn't go to the British Museum Library Archives, but Gary did, which
Gary didn't.
no evidence, frankly.
Gary
Like,
definitely didn't.
show me your flight plan and, like,
Yeah.
your permission slip to get into the British Museum Library.
He was like, I'm Dr. Gary. What's his name? Young. I'm Dr. Young.
But
God, if he meowed, I
so
would've died.
yeah, Gary just guessed. Like,
Gary,
it's just
man.
what smells good, and like we know that like lemon oil or citrus oils do have cleaning abilities.
Right.
So like he just fucking guessed.
Yeah, some lemon and vinegar and you're good to go. And he's making you sound like you gotta spend fucking $100 for a gallon of it's just
Yeah. So according to the essential oil concentrate page, the features and benefits of the what I put totally not imaginary thieves oil,
yeah.
in addition to cleaning when applied topically,
So
include
thieves is like a proprietary blend of okay.
includes immune system support, cleansing the digestive system, general wellness support, and antioxidant properties.
Hold up. So you're supposed to be consuming this as well as cleaning with it?
A huge part of Young Living is consuming the oils.
No.
Yes, I did all the research.
I just told you. Like drinking them? Like, are you supposed to be drinking this thieves cleaner?
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So in addition to using it as a cleanser or adding a few drops to your dishwasher to make your dishes smell better,
Yeah.
they recommend diluting it and applying it to the bottom of your feet in cold winter months. They did not say why. Or putting a drop of it in your morning juice, tea,
Ew,
coffee,
ew.
or breakfast food.
Ew, no.
But don't worry, because it's kosher certified, vegan, and gluten-free. Like, they literally said, like, put a few drops in your oatmeal in the morning. Like, but again, like I said, it's not water soluble, so you're not actually diluting it in your coffee or tea or water or whatever.
It's just,
in the
it's
morning.
got to taste so terrible.
Yeah. But again, you're only putting one drop, so it's easy, you know? It's just one drop, and it lasts forever, so blah, 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 blah. Like, you can rationalize it easily. And you're doing it for your health. It cleans your digestive system. It detoxes
Take
you.
a Duco and get out of here. That is so crazy.
So
Ingesting them?
oh, that's a huge part of this, Garrett. That's why I wanted to do this topic and why it took 2 episodes. Yeah,
All right.
like,
I'm
and
ready. I'm ready.
you'll see in the email.
Okay, I'm ready.
So in 2014, Young Living was one of 3 companies that was warned by the FDA for its marketing practices because its distributors on social media were at the time claiming that the essential oils could be used to cure Ebola virus.
Ebola?
Yeah. That's what was happening in 2014. So the company agreed to
You
address...
gotta be a whole idiot if you're believing these people. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody, but shit.
It cleans your digestive system. That's where the Ebola is from.
That's what the Ebola's doing. It's also cleaning it in a different way. You just pooped to death.
You just pooped to death.
Isn't that what happens with Ebola? You get really bad diarrhea?
I think so. I
is
think
that
it's similar to cholera. I think it's similar,
Oh, okay.
but we'll get an email about it if we're wrong.
Yeah.
So the company agreed to address the FDA violations and removed some of the claims from its website that promoted products in a way that would make the products be classified as drugs subject to regulation under federal law. So like the therapeutic grade. And now if you go on their website, especially for the essential oil concentrate things, those little vials, they all have this like statements not evaluated by the FDA and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Gary.
So, but Young Living's website, because I was like poking around, has a tab at the top of the homepage labeled Learn with 11 subheadings under that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. So they have this on their homepage. There's a tab labeled "Learn." Under that tab, there's 11 subheadings, range
11.
yeah, ranging from how to use an essential oil diffuser to quote seed to seal to science is in our nature. Seed to seal is what they call their like quality guarantee because they own a lot of the farms that they get the product from. So from seed to the seal that's on the vial that they send you.
Like farm to table.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Is there going to be human trafficking involved in this? I feel like they're
No.
trafficking people. Okay.
Not that I know of anyway.
Okay.
Um so but under the science is in our nature tab, they have a nice beige website with photos that they have science in the field, which apparently includes having farmers who double as scientists and innovating agriculture techniques. Like the way they phrased it was like our farmers are like scientists, like just like letting fields lie fallow for a season and like checking the nitrogen content. Like they're just doing farmer stuff.
Yeah.
Like
just farming.
Not that that's not a science thing, but
No.
like it's not. You're not a scientist.
They're a scientist the same way that you're a doctor, Gary. I swear to God, bullying.
It's kind of like somebody I don't know. Like you worked in a court. It'd be like you saying you're a lawyer because you used to work in a courthouse.
Yeah, no.
It's not
Definitely not.
like
That's not how that works.
Anyway, they also science in the lab is demonstrated by Young Living's in-house labs and corporate-owned distilleries because they have to distill the plant extract into this oil.
That's where they make the rock candy.
Right.
The blood rock candy.
And produce those extracts. And then clinical research, according to them, is something else that they do. And conducted by highly trained research scientists at respected independent organizations, unquote.
Independent organizations.
Well,
so you understand it's not mainstream anything.
It's not even independent. Below that, there's a box labeled recently published research papers. Every single one of these papers was written or funded by Young Living, the D. Gary Young Research Institute, or its employees. So that's not what the word independent means.
That's not peer reviewed.
Yeah. The same science tab.
Actually, it couldn't be peer reviewed because there's no peers because they're not anything.
Right. That same science tab also brags about having 17 patents and says, quote, additionally, we have previously filed 10 other patent applications, which also shows our innovation and ingenuity, unquote. That's not what that shows. Anybody can file a patent. There's a patent for fucking toilet paper.
Yeah.
It's not, like, you're not a genius for filing a patent. And also, I don't know what, like, we filed 10 other patent applications and
for what?
Were disapproved or
for what?
They're in limbo. Like, what happened to
for your fucking
others?
For what? Ugh.
But again, it's like vague booking. Like they say just enough. They use enough language to sound
legit. Yeah.
Right. So the other company that you might have heard of, I feel like I've shit on Young Living enough.
Do you? We can keep going.
The other essential oil company you might have heard of is doTERRA, which is another MLM.
I'm going to Google it just so I can see like their logo.
Okay. It was founded in 2008. The name doTERRA is inspired by the Latin phrase that means gift of the earth. The CEO of doTERRA is a guy named David Sterling, who was an executive at Young Living.
It's so incestuous.
Drama!
What's his name?
David Sterling, Stirling.
His name comes right up.
Sterling and the other founding members of doTERRA were super high up executives at Young Living and basically created a whole company by taking their downlines with them when they made this company.
I can't believe they didn't make them sign like non-competes or something.
Well, there was a bunch of lawsuits over it regarding like non-compete issues and stealing of trade secrets and all this other stuff. Eventually those lawsuits got thrown out. If you're interested in learning about those lawsuits, they're mentioned briefly in that that Business Insider podcast brought to you by that I mentioned last week. Plenty of other podcasts that go into the MLM side of doTERRA and or Young Living discuss those lawsuits. And both companies have statements on their websites about those lawsuits and like being like, we couldn't tell the truth, but the other side, like basically calling each other shitty and like whatever.
Even though they're all the fucking same thing. Okay, so 2 points here.
Okay.
One, this guy looks like in Parks and Rec when Ben and April went to work for that new guy who was running for Senate. And he was like, stay cool, it's a hot one out there. And then he just like stares at the wall because he's a robot. That's exactly what this guy looks like. Second of all, I have never seen an executive team take so many awkward fucking group pictures together. Did you Google these people? I've seen like 6 weird pictures of them all standing together.
Yeah.
I've never ever seen this.
What movie did I? Oh, did you ever watch World War Z?
Yes.
You know,
No. I don't remember.
Good job.
I remember a flight to Israel, and I remember people like climbing the wall, and then that's it.
Do you remember towards the end, Brad Pitt goes to like a World Health Organization site in like England or something, and he has to like go through the building?
I think I do remember that, yeah.
And the people are in like this standby mode, the zombies people.
Yes.
That's what those people remind me of.
Yeah,
Like they're in standby mode waiting for stimulus.
Yeah, like they're missing their chip, and they're
Yeah.
just like, it's like Westworld.
Mm-hmm.
Like they haven't had their chip put in yet, so they're just like standing there like in costume. They're so creepy.
So anyway, for what it's worth, doTERRA denies that they poached clients. Young Living sued doTERRA at one point. The case was dismissed. Like I said, you can read about that if you want. It's really not that interesting. It's just 2 companies mad at each other. And these are both billion-dollar companies.
And they're both bad.
Yeah.
Everybody's
They're
bad.
both MLMs, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, they prey on the fear of parents and on Christian faithfulness.
Oh, good. Things that nobody ever preys on.
Yeah, like I just don't have the bandwidth to give a shit about their lawsuits.
Yeah.
Like, but anyway, when the FDA got all up in Young Living's business about their labeling, they also got mad at doTERRA because that was in 2014. At the time, doTERRA was labeling its essential oils as therapeutic grade. Today, their website calls it certified pure tested grade. They also sell proprietary blends. One was called Adaptive, spelled like somebody who didn't finish 8th grade would spell it, and promises to be, quote, the precise solution, unquote, when stress and tension seem to be relentless. While they recommend using this in a diffuser with a carrier oil for massage or adding a few drops to bath water, they also sell adaptive capsules, which they recommend using in conjunction with this oil for, quote, synergistic results. Whatever that means.
Yep.
On that capsule train, they sell something called DigestZen. Each capsule contains 120 milligrams of the DigestZen oil blend that you know and trust for overall digestive health.
It's just called Metamucil. That's the blend.
Highly recommend. But that statement for, trusted for overall digestive health is, I swear to God, accompanied by the world's smallest asterisks. I literally thought on my 20-inch computer monitor screen that it was like a piece of dirt or something. But anyway.
What does it say?
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration.
Oh, yeah, what a shock.
This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease, which they're required by law to say, but then, like, why would you take it? Like, I don't...
Yeah.
Anyway. Also, the dosage is to take 1 capsule 1 or more times a day as needed. So
1 or more.
I said, I guess once you stop shitting your pants, you know you took enough. It contains peppermint, coriander seed, ginger root, caraway seed, cardamom seed, fennel seed, and anise fruit/seed oil, plus the lesser ingredients of extra virgin olive oil, hydropropyl starch, glycerin, water, malitol syrup, gellan gum, acacia gum, guar gum, and xanthan gum. Anyway, they also sell something called On Guard oil, And in the description states that this blend, quote, naturally and effectively provides immune support when used internally. One of the best-selling essential oil blends. It protects against environmental and seasonal threats when ingested. It can also serve as a non-toxic surface cleaner, unquote. That is a wild fucking combination.
I'm sorry, can you read those two things again that it does?
It effectively provides immune support when used internally. It protects against environmental and seasonal threats when ingested, and can also serve as a non-toxic surface cleaner.
What the fuck is a seasonal threat?
Depression. I think they mean the flu, honestly. Like flu season. Again, there's a tiny little asterisk.
Or cleaning products.
Yes, the ingredients are wild orange, cloves, cinnamon bark, eucalyptus, and rosemary oils. It sells for over $50 per 15 milliliter bottle. They also sell something called MetaPower. This is some sort of diet supplement, which I had never heard of. They have like a satiety gum and a metabolic blend soft gels, which they say, at least say in the third sentence in the description reads, quote, an unpublished preclinical study suggests this blend may target and reduce adipose fat cells while also protecting cells and tissues against oxidative stress, comma, but more confirming clinical research is needed, unquote.
This is jargon. It's nothing.
Yes, it's word soup.
Yes.
But they're using an unpublished preclinical study. Okay, a study, clinical. I know that word.
Yes.
You know, like they're using enough
just
words
enough, yeah,
to sell the usefulness of it. But you're not supposed to ingest essential oils.
No.
And you're not supposed to apply them topically without a carrier oil involved. And like,
Right.
even though way down on the pages on these things, they'll eventually say like, you can mix it in with some lotion and apply it topically or put it in your bath. It's the initial recommendation, the initial impression is that you're supposed to put this in your smoothie every morning and
It's not hand
eat it.
sanitizer, guys. You can't just like add it to everything.
Tune into Patreon.
Oh my god.
But MetaPower also has a capsule form. And so,
Oh, thank God.
because we're going to cover relatively soon our experiences with diet culture, this is kind of why I went on a deep dive onto this supplement in particular. So MetaPower has a capsule form. It's like a gel cap. It's full of cinnamon bark oil, peppermint oil, and some more citrus-based oils. But I was curious because if you're not supposed to be ingesting oils without diluting them first, how is this capsule safe to ingest? According to the label, up to 5 times per day as needed.
There's literally nothing over the counter or otherwise that you're supposed to ingest 5 times a day.
Other than like water.
Water. That's it.
Yeah.
Even coffee, they're like, can you not?
Yeah. You can eat 5 times a day, actual food, not oils. Yeah, no. So this is where my email to you comes in.
The one that I had the very distinct warning note about?
Yes.
Do not open.
Okay, so doTERRA has an online chat feature. So I checked that out and I emailed you an edited copy. You're going to read the bolded text. Okay.
I'm ready. Anna. Thank you for contacting doTERRA.
I've read that you're not supposed to ingest essential oils. If you're not supposed to ingest essential oils, how can MetaPower be safe for me? Hello?
Hello, Katie. Essential oils are actually very safe to use. Very safe if used appropriately. Please follow all label usage instructions and safety warnings. While many oils labeled as not for internal use are safe to use internally in small amounts, some are not as beneficial when taken this way, so we don't recommend their use in this manner.
Peppermint oil has been linked to toxicity though, right? Do you guys do anything in the production process that makes it safe?
Ah! We actually have a course that you can enroll in to learn more about MetaPower, and different course you can enroll in to learn more about the essential oils. If you visit this site, you will be able to register for either or both courses with a hyperlink. doTERRA's CPTG, certified pure tested grade essential oils, are pure, natural, aromatic compounds. The grammar in this is bad.
Oh, she's for sure copying and pasting it from something.
Because I'm having a hard time like reading it appropriately because it's bad. Carefully extracted from plants. They do not contain fillers or artificial ingredients that would dilute their active qualities and are free of contaminants such as pesticides or other chemical residues. This is her response to you. This is wild.
This is her response to my, what do you guys do in order in the production process that makes it safe? Yeah.
doTERRA's certified.
The
just heard my dog.
Why? Yeah. He's a werewolf now.
I love when he makes
I think you're as important as it is.
Yeah, okay. As important as it is to keep contaminants out of our oils, assuring the presence of their active compounds at the right levels is necessary to guarantee safety and effectiveness. Many oils claim to be pure, but few are subjected to rigorous testing and standards for chemical composition. doTERRA's CPTG essential oils are cross-tested using mass spectrometry and
mass spectrometry and gas chromatography
to ensure both extract, purify, and composition potency of each batch. doTERRA works closely with a global network of leading essential oil chemists and growers to select botanicals of the correct species grown in the ideal environments and carefully harvested at the right time. The aromatic compounds of the plants are skillfully extracted by experienced distillers and are subjected to chemical analysis to ensure purity and composition. doTERRA's CPTG essential oils represent the safest and most beneficial oils available in the world today. Equally stringent standards of safety and efficacy are applied to all of doTERRA's essential wellness products. Guided by our scientific advisory board, doTERRA uses only top development and manufacturing partners who maintain GMP certification and enjoy industry reputation for superior innovation and quality. Each doTERRA product is guaranteed to exceed customer satisfaction and performance expectations.
So I'd just like to point out she did not answer my question of
No.
what they do to make sure that it's safe to eat.
But she did copy and paste from her brochure, so that's nice.
Yes. Why do I have to register to get the information?
Some of the courses you do need to pay for, while others are free. You would need to register so that you can have access to the platform the courses are available through and so that you can pick up where you left off. What? If you would rather not register to have access to these courses, you are welcome to learn more through the available literature on our official site with a hyperlink.
So I clicked that link, and there's a book about internal use of essential oils, an ebook.
Uh-huh.
So I open that, and I'm scrolling through while I still have the chat open.
Yeah.
And I say, can you specifically tell me where the information is that explains why doTERRA oils are safe to eat?
Please allow me a moment to go find this in the book for you.
So we're both reading this book, apparently. I don't know that she knows what book to look in, to be fair, but whatever. So I say, your ebook about internal use of essential oils says that cinnamon bark oil must be diluted before being ingested, but that is in the MetaPower blend. How is the MetaPower capsule diluted?
That's a great question for our product support team. You are welcome to contact them via email at productsupport@doterra.com. Is there anything else I may help you with today, Katie?
Not at the moment, thank you. So I emailed product support, and they did not respond.
Weird.
I know, I was shocked too.
They seem so forthcoming.
So to be fair, like, I didn't, like, make that email to them very flowery. All I said in my email, the subject was MetaPower question, and I said, your ebook on the internal use of essential oils states that oils can either be placed directly on the tongue, added to food or drink, or put into a capsule to ingest. However, page 19 of your ebook states that cinnamon bark oil, among some others, must be diluted in at least 4 ounces of water before ingesting. Yet, your MetaPower capsules include cinnamon bark oil in their composition. So, and then I bolded, how is this oil diluted within the capsule? And then I sent it. I didn't sign my name either, so they can eat my dick. But they haven't responded.
I wish you signed it, eat my dick.
Well, I also sent it from my personal email because I didn't think that having an email from the Bar's Ankle High would have elicited a good response.
What if I bat my eyelashes at you?
I considered like creating a separate email called like Essential Oils Below or something.
I love that. Yeah, I love that.
But again,
I love that for you.
So that was my experience with their customer service. Like I said, the information is there. I'll give them that. But on page 19 of this fucking manual, they say like, and they go, I mean, she even said, they say you're not supposed to eat it, but you can.
Just follow the instructions. Just read the label.
Right.
The label that says it's not evaluated by the FDA for consumption.
Yes. So, like I said, as of the recording of this episode, which, like, to be fair, I emailed them at about noon on Thursday, and it's now Saturday. So, like, they've had a business day and a half to respond. I really don't think that they're being inundated with product support questions like that.
You don't think so?
No. They will after this podcast, obviously.
Send them emails.
Yeah, if someone else gets an answer to that fucking question, I'd love to know, because I just don't understand, like, either you have to dilute it or
you don't.
And is there expectation that when you take this capsule, you're taking it with like 16 ounces of water, which it doesn't say to do.
Right.
It just says take it 1 to 5 times a day.
Yes.
And then
also, will I wind up with an ulcer because I'm taking all of
that's
these?
a huge risk of ingesting essential oils, is that you end up with, severe gastric issues.
Yeah.
So anyway.
They're like, you didn't follow the instructions. That's why you have a hole in your stomach. Dummy. Idiot.
So look, like I said, I mean, do what you want. There's like, I personally had to pay extra special attention to the ingredients in these things. Like, I had to have one window open with the MetaPower page that listed the ingredients.
Yeah.
I had to have this chat window open and a separate window with this ebook.
Yeah.
And then looking at all that information together and like cross-referencing it, just to get to the point where I could ask this question of how is this safe to eat when you say you can't
don't eat it.
Cinnamon bark oil. So like, it's the kind of thing that to me is super fucking deceptive.
Yeah.
Because you are literally marketing this to people as a dietary supplement. Not only a dietary supplement, a diet supplement. You're selling it to people in order for them to like lose weight.
Yeah.
And
you'll lose weight because you'll have such a bad ulcer that you can't stand to ingest food anymore.
And we also, like, one of the issues with, like, yes, there is a severe lack of research into essential oils and their interaction in the human body, but also their interaction with medications. So we don't know if using these will affect the efficacy of actual prescription drugs that you are.
What if you're on like a thyroid medication, and it's like how you can't drink grapefruit juice with certain medications.
Yes.
But you can fucking slurp down some fucking oils.
Well, and this has grapefruit oil in it. So
this is
it's super upsetting. And like,
this is capitalism is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's just it. Like, they're doing a capitalism about it. And it'd be fine if they weren't making it so fucking hard to find this information, but they are purposely like, you can just do this ebook or take this course and register for this course. And some of our courses are paid, but other ones aren't. And da-da-da-da. Like, no, I don't want to have to take a fucking course. Give me the fucking information. It's a straightforward question.
Right.
And that's what's really irritating to me. And I think that really goes for anything. If you can ask a straightforward question and you can't get a direct response, then they're lying to you.
And in reality, I just hiccuped again.
I didn't hear it.
It was a more quiet one, but fully made me make a face. You think about how many times you deal with like a customer service chat and you ask a question and they're usually erring on the side of caution. It's like, no, please don't ingest this. Please don't do this because we can't
I
verify it.
can't believe that she said, they say not to, but you can still do it.
Like, I have to think about when my KitchenAid, I was like, there
Yeah,
were
that was
metal
wild.
shavings that came off of like the top thing. I was like, I don't like, as soon as I noticed it, I threw out the dough. And the guy was like, immediately I had to answer like all of these liability forms and I was like, no, I wasn't that concerned. I was like, just send me a new one or
Right.
fix it. And it was like, absolutely not. We're replacing it and sending you a new one because metal shavings will
You
fucking
know,
kill somebody.
cut your insides.
Right.
Yeah.
So, it's just like crazy that the vast majority of the time companies are doing the opposite of that. They're playing it ultra safe because they don't want to deal with the smoke of somebody suing them.
Well, and I
Meanwhile, this
think
one's like, suck them down.
so. I think that is why these companies are MLMs.
Yeah.
Because first of all, most people who buy from an independent distributor, doTERRA calls them wellness advocates.
Oh,
Um,
worse.
yeah. But if I'm an independent distributor and I sell you this MetaPower and then you end up with an ulcer, are you going to sue me for selling you this product? Because like you know me personally, you're not going to
Mm-hmm.
sell the company. But the company's going to turn around and be like, "Oh, that they're an independent contractor. They're not
Because
our
I'm sure
employee."
the shit that they have to sign when they start with them is like
Probably.
extensive.
Yeah, certainly. It's probably like arbitration agreements coming out their ears.
Yeah.
Like it's just the kind of thing where
doTERRA cannot be held responsible for.
and look, like I have no idea if this MetaPower stuff is going to actually injure you. Like I have not taken it. I will not be taking it.
No, we're just speculating. Wild speculation is also part of this podcast.
But their own
Looking at you, Gary.
their own literature says not to eat one of the ingredients in this blend. So I think that it lends itself to concluding that it's not safe to eat. And so whatever. At least they claim what they claim is in it is something that everyone warns you to dilute.
Right, like a basic Google search will warn you not to
Right.
put essential oils directly onto anything.
Yes. So
Let
with
alone
the lack
suck 'em
of
down.
research on essential oils, plus in the US, the lack of regulation on any supplements, but especially things like essential oils, um, promoting putting something into your body when the science in general can't tell you what it will do, even if it'll do nothing,
Yeah.
I think is just it's just so dangerous. Also, just side note, there's no such thing as detoxification from a supplement.
Nope.
You're like if you have working liver and kidneys,
That's what they do.
you are going to be detoxed every day.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
why your pee in the morning is darker usually than your last pee of the evening the night before.
And also why eating liver is extra vile because it is a filtering organ.
Yeah.
No judgment, but
Yeah, the I mean the human body is designed to survive. Like it's one of the things that our bodies are best at is filtering shit out of our fluids and blood.
Yeah.
And getting rid of the waste. The way they can track armies in ancient civilizations is by following where they put the latrines.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Follow the poop.
Yeah, because that's the first thing they do when they put up camp is figure out where everybody's going to poop.
Yeah.
Because we do it all the time. Like you can't stop.
Yeah.
Um
There's no poop hole loophole.
The whole reason that people in kidney failure require dialysis is because their kidneys are not filtering waste out of their blood. If it was as simple as giving those people a drop of some essential oil on their tongue, doctors would do it. Like, say what you want about the pharmaceutical companies and capitalism, but like actual physicians want their patients to get better, and watching somebody waste away because of chronic illness and acute organ failure is not something that any physician, I think, wants to witness and certainly doesn't want a front row seat to every day of their career.
No, I feel like if anything, they want you to recover from it so they don't have to see you and listen to you complain about it anymore.
Right. Like if they worked for detoxing, your MD, your medical doctor would tell you.
Right.
Like not Dr. Gary, drown your kid.
Yeah.
Like
my doctor is the first person to recommend a non-pharmaceutical way of dealing with something. Like when you have a virus that she can't give you anything for, make sure you're keeping up with your fluids. Make sure, you're doing X, Y, and
yeah.
Z. That's going to ultimately like make you feel better overall. Or you have a sore throat, but it's viral, maybe get some popsicles on your way home. Get a fresh toothbrush because you have some kind of viral thing and you want to get a fresh, like things like that are not a prescription or a medication, but are valid health
Right.
advice.
Yes.
Not, I mean, if I went to a doctor who was telling me to drop some lavender oil under my tongue and said their name was Dr. Burroughs, I'd be running the other direction.
Yeah. Yeah. So back when we started this topic, um, the, as recommended by a listener, I found one of the biggest problems as it relates to our podcast is that if you Google essential oils and ADHD or essential oils and autism,
You get all this bullshit.
millions of results.
Yeah.
Autism Parenting Magazine, I did not link this in my show notes, has a whole ass article with a catchy little infographic listing a whole bunch of essential oils and what they can help a child with ADHD or a child with autism handle, including frankincense, which they report helps kids stay focused and helps boost the immune system, vetiver, which apparently is a relaxing...
Never even heard of that.
Me neither. It's a relaxing oil that will help children who have difficulty concentrating, being distracted, which is the same thing as concentrating,
Yep.
and impatience. Sandalwood, which is also relaxing and can, quote, be effective for children with autism spectrum disorders. Unclear how or why. Cedarwood, apparently good for sleep because it also has calming and relaxing, quote, properties. Lavender has a calming effect and can reduce anxiety, emotional stress, and sleep quality. I guess it would improve sleep quality.
Yeah, not lessen
also,
sleep quality.
Like, refer back to how lavender application in prepubescent boys can cause gynecomastia. So don't do that. But also, mandarin orange oil is good for kids, apparently, because it has a citrus scent and also helps anxiety. Peppermint, named as, quote, perfect for ADHD and autism kiddos because it has a cooling effect that then has a calming effect on the body.
So these are all like sensory based, just like calming things, which is fine, but don't bill them as a fix or something to improve symptoms if they're just meant to be like a general soothing effect.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Keep going.
I'm sorry.
No. It gets better. Ling Ling has a positive effect on human emotions and can increase blood flow to, quote, certain, unquote, parts of the body. Doesn't say what those parts are. Sounds gross.
Yep.
Bergamot oil apparently creates a feeling of joy and energy by improving the circulation of blood. Quote, great for autism, unquote. And chamomile, I said they really went in all in on this one. Quote, potent anti-inflammatory and pain-reducing abilities and can help relieve congestion, strengthen the heart, improve digestion, and even fight cancer, unquote. Again, why are we talking about cancer? This is an article about autism and ADHD. But, yeah.
Also, I'm pretty sure chamomile's not going to fucking
No.
deal with my latent cancer that I apparently have.
Your chicken cancer.
It's that chicken disease I got.
Bah!
Gotta love Katie's animal noises.
So no sources were linked or cited for this
Of course,
bullshit.
why would they be?
It's that reason primarily that I haven't included it in the show notes. And because I refuse to participate in the knowing dissemination of misinformation. This article is also super fucking long. Like, super fucking long. This infographic is in like the first 10% of the article. And then it goes on for eons.
Full of bullshit.
And like you go all the way down to get to the testimonials and the warnings and a literal one sentence statement about none of this shit being endorsed by the FDA and states that essential oils, quote, are not a cure for autism. Never mind how problematic that phrase is. But, like, that's all the way at the bottom of this ridiculous article. Nobody's fucking reading that. Like, whatever.
Maybe if you used your chamomile, Katie, then you'd be able to get through it.
That's true. I would have had better focus and concentration. And lack of distractedness or whatever the fuck.
Katie.
Duh. In contrast, the Association for Science and Autism Treatment notes, quote, presently there is no scientific evidence-based research on the use of essential oils as a treatment for autism. Essential oils, though not found as a treatment for autism, may work as a preferred sensory-based experience, and individuals may have different preferences toward a preferred scent. However, it is important to note that general research findings on essential oils demonstrate that these oils can become toxic and cause adverse effects, unquote. Those adverse effects include skin irritation, allergic reactions, and seizures. They go on to conclude that because of the lack of research together with the risks and side effects, quote, essential oils cannot be deemed a scientific or evidence-based treatment for individuals with autism. So I don't know what the fuck Autism Parenting Magazine
why are you recommending
is doing.
it?
Well, this is a separate publication. This is the Association for Science and Autism.
Oh,
Treatment.
gotcha.
So, like, that is a great resource. That's in our show notes because it was a very short article, but, like, they go through and say, like, medication or treatment.
Do this.
And they'll say, like, a little blurb of, like, why people say, like, what it's for and yes or no. Like, it's just very straightforward. And then they have, like, sources at the bottom if you want to look further into it. But it's a huge problem with the supplement industry in general. And I totally understand, like, if you have a child who is struggling with autism, who is struggling with sensory issues and sensory processing, that they might need ways to stim and calm down. And so the idea of, like, okay, lavender oil can calm you down, or sandalwood or something can, like, help you kind of, like, ground yourself. And then these other companies take advantage of that and say, well, go a step further and put this under their tongue or put it in lotion or put it, you know.
You know what I tried?
Exactly.
Yep.
So I found an article in the Washington Post and all of these places have this, like, statements not evaluated by the FDA, not intended to treat or cure any condition, They include that in order to not get shut down by the FDA. But in this article I found in the Washington Post by Megan Bjerger, titled Essential Oils Are Potent, Risky, and Promising, Here's What You Need to Know, honestly, it gave a decent summary of, like, what we talked about in the episodes. But the reason I bring it up is because the comments on that article are just fucking nuts. And just show, like, how crazy it is. Like, there's people who were, like, shitting on the people that she interviewed for the article who were, like, licensed aromatherapists and, like, had training and stuff. And then there's this story. You're gonna love it. A work friend invited me to her house for what turned out to be one of those multi-level marketing events, and one of the items being sold was essential oils. I'm a huge skeptic and was not buying any of it until I applied frankincense to one of my arthritic joints and had immediate, if brief, pain relief, so I decided to give it a try. I didn't think much of the rest of the oils. Then last year tried using both peppermint and eucalyptus to mask my smell from mosquitoes. Works quite well, BTW. Mostly I applied it to my clothes, but some got on my skin. A few weeks later, I noticed my joint pain, parentheses, systemic arthritis due to lupus, close parentheses, was significantly lower than usual. It took a while to figure it out, but testing proved both of those oils, particularly the peppermint, were providing serious anti-inflammatory relief. I have tried finding scientific studies to guide me on safe levels of use or of what could be ingested instead of applied to the skin. It just doesn't exist. So I continue to use them while worrying about toxicity. I regularly apply the frankincense to my knees and hand joints, and when I can get past the overwhelming smell, I apply a few drops here and there of peppermint, which affects more than just the application site. This is obviously anecdotal, but there is definitely something worthwhile in this treatment, at least for some segment of the population. It's just too bad unbiased, peer-reviewed research isn't being done. If it were, we'd all be safer, and more folk would be benefiting from essential oils.
So, do you remember like when the vaccine first came out for COVID and people were like, instead of vaccinating, why don't we just give people like a small exposure to it so their immune system can know how to fight it? And it's like, you're this close. You're like this fucking close to getting it.
Yes.
Or when people are like, oh, they're giving like COVID vaccines for free. What about insulin? Again, you're like this close to getting it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that is.
Yes. I have to use these while worrying about toxicity.
And wishing it was peer-reviewed studies. I remember in college.
I don't have a choice.
I just better keep doing it. I'm definitely not going to tell my doctor. In college, I don't remember what the class was, but we were in a group and we had to like look. I wound up bringing an article in that was basically like about how the FDA had not evaluated any of the like vitamins and supplements and stuff that are all over the counter that are available like in the pharmacy, and like what was actually going into those. And it kept bringing up, the article that I had kept bringing up Nature's Made specifically because it's like one of the bigger ones. And one of the girls in my group, and this is one of those situations where you're like, I'm the outlier here. I am in a program that's primarily men, but the women that are in the program are certainly not granola tree huggers, which I will consider myself a granola tree hugger.
Comparatively in that crowd, for sure.
For sure. I am the extremist left wing. So we had to do this presentation, and I'm talking about how, these are like unregulated and like you have to be aware, and how Nature's Made. And the one girl in the group, her uncle worked for Nature's Made or like GNC, like worked for something. And she kept like trying to backtrack what I was saying and like defend Nature's Made. And I remember just fully having this attitude of like, why do you give a fuck about this corporation?
Qui gives a shit.
Qui gives a shit. Why are you standing up here defending? It was just so wild to me. And she was pissy with me the whole time because I was doing this article, and I was like, shouldn't the bigger concern be here that like...
Yeah, again, you're this close. You're missing the fucking point.
Right.
Yeah.
Right over your head.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, but that was one of the more comprehensive comments on that article, but it just cracked me up. Like, this is obviously anecdotal. Yes. So,
I'm going to continue
recommending it to people. Like,
yes.
I went to an MLM party and I tried frankincense oil and had brief relief. Oh, so it didn't actually work. Like,
right.
You put Bengay on your knee and you felt better.
Yeah.
Like,
right. And it's like they're talking about like, oh, peppermint oil can be soothing. Yeah, you can get like China gel.
Peppermint oil, like a lot of the complaints about it are that it is so pungent.
Yeah.
So like people will use it, and a lot of the anecdotal stories about peppermint oil in particular is that it helps with like migraines. So they'll like put some on the back of their neck.
Yeah, or like I've seen like on your temples.
Right, but they have to use like so little because it is so strong.
Yep.
And like people have said like, well, I smell like a tube of toothpaste all day, but at least, I don't have migraines.
Yeah.
Which like, again, that is that olfactory response to it that is sending some signal to your brain and interacting with your amygdala so that like, whatever. It's not, at least it's not eating it, but like, oh my God.
Right. Ooh, gosh, sorry. Right. And it's like that article where they're talking about like, oh, lavender, those are all just like soothing things. So like, yeah, if I'm really stressed out and I want to like relax for the evening, I will totally put some lavender oil in a diffuser so that the air is like a calming scent and it just like helps you settle down. It's not systemically doing anything to me.
No.
I find it a soothing scent, so I'm more relaxed when I'm smelling it.
Yes.
Like it's not, or I'll use like I have a bunch of like lavender scented lotions that I'll use. So, like before bed, I'll like put lavender scented.
Yeah,
lotion.
I have a lavender scented cuticle oil.
Yeah.
That I love rubbing on my hands before bed.
Side note, Lush, sponsor us. They have that sleepy time lotion that is just like, oh my God, you just want to like eat it. It smells so good, and it's like,
I mean, I
it's
know what
this.
Lush is, but
They have like this specific lotion that they say like to use before bed. It is the most soothing combination of scents.
hmm,
Love it. Love it so much, and I love using it before bed. And now I want to go get some.
okay. The National Association for Holistic Aromatherapy, or NAHA, which makes me want to say like, I
See, I thought
la.
about the Amanda show when she would go, meh.
Oh. Anyway, NAHA has very clear information on its website. The first sentence on its regulations page states, quote, aromatherapy is currently an unregulated and unlicensed field, both for the practice of aromatherapy as well as the manufacture of aromatherapy products. Now, they're talking about the US.
Mm-hmm.
Um, NAHA also notes that it is a member of the American Herbal Products Association, a national trade association with the mission of promoting the responsible and sustainable commerce of herbal products, seeking to ensure consumers have informed access to a wide variety of safe herbal goods. So then I went over to the American Herbal Products Association website
Mm-hmm.
um, and looked through their membership list, which is public.
Oh.
Members included the UMass Botanical Medicine College
Mm-hmm.
and Celestial Seasonings, the tea people with
Mm-hmm.
the weird take on Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know about that?
No, I didn't.
It's something about how like Jesus was an alien. Yeah, I'm not kidding. You look at their labels, there's little UFOs on them. You'll see it
I
now.
guess I'm downstairs. I'm gonna have to go check it out.
Um, but Young Living and doTERRA are not members.
Weird.
Which is interesting because they have billions of dollars of profit but cannot be bothered to be a member of an organization that is working to ensure that all consumers are taken care of and like standards across the entire field are recognized. Like because it's not regulated by the government, like I have to say like they're at least these or associations are taking matters into their own hands and
Right.
saying like
It's like a professional association to help
yes,
like on their own do
yeah,
that.
like we're holding ourselves to a certain standard.
Right.
Like lawyers have that. There's the New York Bar
Right.
Association.
Right. Right.
I have to comply with their ethics rules. Like,
Right.
and so um, there's an expectation of production. And they're also discussing, you know, that the American Herbal Products Association is concerned with sustainable production of
Mm-hmm.
these herbs. And that is a huge criticism of the essential oils business because it takes
The volume.
so
Yeah.
money, like so much farmland to produce the plants in order to distill this down into a teeny tiny vial, which in on the one hand, like we said before, is why it costs so much, but on the other hand, is how it can be so easily exploited
Right.
because oh well it costs a lot so you know it's real. They
Right.
said it's pure and organic on the label. And they can put anything on the label because
Yeah.
it's not regulated. Um NAHA's website also had a list of standardized coursework in aromatherapy and included like different types of certifications, like levels based on how much coursework you've completed. So you can check that website and see the titles associated with the coursework and vet your own aromatherapist if somebody's trying to practice aromatherapy on you, to make sure that whoever you're dealing with is like for lack of a better phrase like qualified to prescribe a course of essential oil treatment to you. Naha's website also said essential oils should never be given orally to infants or children. The majority of cases of essential oil poisoning involve accidents or incorrect dosing with young children, often between ages 1 and 3.
Okay, so there we go.
Yep.
Don't give it to your kid.
Yes, which if you spend any amount of time on Reddit, there's plenty of mom groups on Facebook and wherever else where they recommend doing all sorts of essential oil bullshit
Curing all
for
kinds of things.
teething infants. Like,
Yep.
it's just wild. Anyway, I also found um, something called the International Aromatherapy and Aromatic Medicine Association, which is based in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a very easy to digest website. Honestly, it was like a dream to navigate.
Wow.
So I would say check that out if you want, like, to get in the door somewhere on like understanding essential oils and what they can do for you. I think like a lot of places that aren't the US, Aromatherapy and aromatic medicine is more regulated in Australia and other countries,
Yeah, like all kinds of things are
like
regulated.
midwifery and
Yeah,
stuff, and like,
it's crazy.
um,
Pharmaceuticals, beauty products, there's food ingredients, there's all kinds of things that are banned everywhere else except for here.
mhm,
Because, freedom, I
yeah,
guess.
guns.
Freedom
Uh,
for colon cancer.
but anyway, they outlined like best practices as a consumer and like what to look for when shopping for essential oils, and refers people on how like to resources on how to verify that there's their person is an essential or a certified aromatherapist, or
hmm
um, they also have they list several different very specific risks. Like it's very clear
hmm
how they're listed on the website, and like how some essential oils used on your skin can make you photosensitive, meaning that you're more sensitive to sunlight, which is mentioned on the Young Living and doTERRA websites, but it's not explained, and it doesn't stop them from recommending topical
Right,
use.
right.
So, like, if you put something in a lotion, like orange oil, you put that into your lotion in the morning, you get out of the shower, and then you go about your day, and then you end up with a rash, and it looks like you have a heat rash. It's because you had this essential oil and you're having a photosensitive reaction to it.
Right, yeah.
Um, but it's very easy to think like, oh, I just got a lot of sun, or like whatever.
Or
Like,
those people that think that sunblock is poison and they're probably putting essential oils on their skin.
yeah,
Like in lotion, and then like you are legitimately getting more
I'm
burned.
sure doTERRA and Young Living sell sunblock.
I bet. Yeah.
Um,
Psychos.
so their website again, like, repeatedly the International Aromatherapy and Aromatic Medicine Association's website repeatedly refers you to a qualified aromatherapist for more info. Like, oh, if you have any questions, check with your qualified aromatherapist. So I wrote, in case it wasn't yet clear, an independent wellness advocate with whatever MLM du jour is not a qualified aromatherapist. Like,
Right.
that does not make them qualified. Just because they've done the fucking courses you have to register for doesn't make them a qualified
Or a
aromatherapist.
doctor. Or any kind of clinician or medical professional.
Yeah, they're a doctor the way that you're a fox doctor,
Yeah. Except that
basically.
I'm really a fox doctor.
Look at this sweater.
How could I not be a fox doctor?
She has a sweater with foxes on it,
I do.
in case that wasn't clear.
Yeah.
Um,
As does the baby.
it's true.
She does have a fox sweater now.
Um,
So we can both be fox doctors. Sorry, go ahead.
so 2 points at the end of this list of risks really stood out to me, in particular. In one, they note that the amount of actual oil in each drop of an essential oil bottle varies enormously between brands, quote. And the second thing is that they say essential oils should not be used internally unless receiving a detailed consultation and prescription from a trained and qualified aromatic medicine practitioner, which I think is a totally different like level above aromatherapist.
Right.
So like you're effectively going to like not like a DO, but some like
A
an Eastern
smello.
medicine practitioner or something. Like somebody who's done a ton of fucking education on it.
Yeah.
And they're calling it a prescription. It's not like
Dr.
I got a
Smellgood.
I got a fever and the prescription's more cowbell. Like that's basically what
Yeah.
anyway. Um also the person who mentioned this topic to us on Instagram, um I messaged them and I was like, "So what was your experience?" Because in their response to my sticker, they said that blue tansy oil is a doozy. And so I was like, "What's blue
I've
tansy?"
never
So I
heard
had
of
looked
that.
it up, and it's basically like chamomile oil.
Okay.
It's blue in color and has this like,
Is there dye in it?
no, it comes out blue. It's from the blue tansy plant.
Okay.
Um the but like anti-inflammatory and calming benefits were the primary benefits that I could find in a brief Google search. So I asked our listener what your experience was. She said, "It just turns your skin blue." On the bottom of the feet, it's fine. Some people mix it in moisturizer, but it has a very pungent aroma. It's intense. So I said, what did you use it for? She said, it's supposed to be good for overall reduction of inflammation. Use it in a face moisturizer to reduce redness and puffiness, overall bloat, that kind of thing. I said, did it work? Other than the smurfening, I mean.
That's all I could think of.
She said, all of that seems kind of nebulous to me. I'll put it this way. I pretty much stopped my daily essential oil routine once COVID hit, and I haven't really noticed that much of a difference.
Shit.
So I would also say that if you're using it to reduce redness on your face, it will reduce redness because there's a blue tinge to it. So
Right.
it's like the opposite. It's counteracting
Right.
that.
Right.
But that might be why it's reducing redness. But
I'd be so mad if I put something on my face and it turned my skin blue.
did you ever watch Bride Wars with Kate Hudson and Anne Hathaway?
No.
There's a scene there.
And even if I did, I wouldn't remember.
I know. There's a scene. There's these two best friends, and their weddings end up being scheduled on the same day through this like super exclusive wedding planner in New York City, yada yada, at the plaza, blah blah blah. So they're fighting. They're going back and forth. Kate Hudson with the blonde hair is getting her hair done the week before her wedding.
Yep.
Anne Hathaway sneaks in and swaps out the dye cups, and she ends up with blue hair. And she's sitting in the chair after they rinse it, and they take the towel off, and she was like, "Oh my God, I'm blue!" And she completely freaks out. She's like, "I have blue hair. How am I supposed to get married with blue hair?"
In reality, it would probably look really fucking cool.
It probably would.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would do it. It's not really my
No,
whole
I'm not
vibe.
brave
As
enough
much
for
as
it.
I like colors,
Yeah.
no.
I do like when people like do the dipped dress.
Or
has,
like
the ombre up it.
their tulle underneath
Oh yeah.
is a different color. I like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, according to Johns Hopkins, if you want to use essential oils, here's some tips on how to safely find ones that are good.
Yep. So you're not gonna tell Johns Hopkins to eat a dick like you did Harvard?
No. They haven't made me mad.
If I read their sleep tips, yeah, maybe.
So the first tip is look at the label. It should include the Latin name of the plant information on purity. It should include the Latin name of the plant, information on purity or other ingredients added to it, and the country in which the plant was grown.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I'm gonna have to check my bottles. I bet none of them have that.
Young Living does not have that on their labels on their website anyway. Number 2 is evaluate the company. Purchase products from a well-known and reputable aromatherapy company that's been around for several years. So this is problematic in that doTERRA has been around since 2008, so it's 15 years old. And Young Living's been around since 1994, so it's, yeah, almost 30. Jesus.
Oh. Rude.
I know, right? Choose dark colored and glass containers. Pure essential oils are highly concentrated. They can dissolve plastic bottles over time, tainting the oil. Most companies package essential oils in small brown or blue glass bottles to protect the quality, because they're also sensitive to light.
Yeah. Well, they'll probably evaporate too, I feel like.
Not if you keep the lid on.
No, like just through the exposure to light, they wouldn't like kind of lose their. Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But it's an oil; it can heat up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess maybe if you could make it get hot enough to like steam, then it could explode the glass bottle, which is why you keep it out of direct sunlight.
Yeah.
The fourth tip is to avoid, quote, fragrance oils, unquote. Fragrance or perfume oils are made from essential oils combined with chemicals or entirely from chemicals. They are not suitable for aromatherapy. Instead, look for bottles that contain a single essential oil in its purest form, aka 100% essential oil with no other fillers. And compare prices. Essential oils range in price depending on how involved harvesting and production are. Within a line, there should be a wide variety of prices. Rose Absolute or sandalwood oils will be more expensive, while sweet orange oil will be on the less expensive end.
Well, it's good that they give specific examples too, because
Mm-hmm.
that's helpful.
If you find a rock bottom price for an expensive essential oil, it probably isn't pure.
Okay.
Rose oil has, I think, doTERRA's website. It could be Young Living. Rose oil, like a half-ounce bottle of it, is like $150.
What?
Yeah. Because it, like, growing roses takes, like, a ton of farmland and is super labor intensive, and then they have to harvest, like, a shit ton of them in order to get that little vial of oil.
That's wild.
Which raises the question on the sustainability thing.
Right.
Which is why, like, being sustainable is important. So, yeah. Anyway. Uh, just a fun fact. Gary Young died in 2018.
Good. Sorry. Go ahead.
According to Mary, his wife at the time of his death, he died from complications from a series of strokes. According to a son from his first marriage and semi-estranged from him at the time of his death, so a sibling of baby Rachel.
Gotcha, yep.
Gary died from cancer, and the stroke story was peddled to cover up the fact that his oils didn't cure his cancer.
You're the real MVP, estranged son.
So obviously, both sides of that are alleged. I haven't seen a death certificate. Young Living hasn't published one, which I feel like would clear it up. At the same time,
Definitely not.
they're not required to, like, to say,
Right.
like, publish somebody's death certificate is, like, it's just gross. Like, I don't think it's something that should be published or freely available 100% of the time. So it's one of those things where I'm like, well, if you don't have anything to hide. But then at the same time, I'm like, well, fuck you. Like, if my mom passes away and I don't want to tell you how she died, like, it's not your fucking business.
Yeah, and yeah, no, but
It's only a problem because they're
yes.
they're hiding
Yes.
their business lies
Yes.
behind his death. Yeah.
Right, like it wouldn't be a problem if you weren't lying about it.
Yeah.
But you're probably lying about it.
Right. Yeah, like
Were
you're
you
selling
the same person that treated Steve Jobs with his cancer with
Probably.
fucking fruit or whatever it was?
Yeah. Eating organic.
It's fuck.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's whatever. He died in 2018. His business is still here. Don't join an MLM.
Yes.
I wrote like overall essential oils are fine. Like,
right, like they're not going to cure anything. It's kind of like when we've talked about, I mean, with ADHD 100 different times and various different, like, mental health related topics. Nothing's going to cure it.
Yeah.
You have it, and it's how your brain works, and there's things that will help.
Yeah, and I think buying or using essential oils for anything other than aromatherapy purposes is, especially in the US, playing roulette.
Yeah.
Like, they're unregulated.
Yep.
You are trusting that the label is an accurate representation of what's in that bottle, but you don't know.
It's the equivalent of going and buying one of those pills for either energy or boners at a gas station. That's what that is.
It's the same.
You don't know what you're getting. It's unregulated. It's dangerous. I mean, remember when they took Four Loko off the shelves because people were having like fucking heart attacks or whatever it was?
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
So there are types of essential oils that can be considered food ingredients that might be regulated by the FDA, but that doesn't mean that all essential oils are regulated by the FDA or that all are able to be eaten.
Right.
To the extent that some plant extracts and essential oils are included in various medications and actual prescription products, those ingredients are vetted and regulated by the FDA and subject to regular and surprise testing by the FDA to ensure the quality of that medication that you're taking. So I have this is actually from the Food Network website. Some essential oils are called GRAS, GRAS, generally regulated or generally recognized as safe.
Ah, gotcha. Grass.
Yeah. Some essential oils are generally recognized as safe for use in food to provide flavor, and some are even added to dietary supplements. However, if an essential oil is intended for treating or preventing a disease, it's regulated as a drug. So it has to meet all of those requirements and approvals by the FDA.
Right.
Um, and in the past, as we discussed before, the FDA has sent several warning letters to foods and dietary supplement manufacturers that make drug claims for essential oils in their products. In the US, a food marketed for human consumption in food or dietary supplements requires a nutrition facts and label, and serving information on that label of the product. How intense the FDA regulation of a product is depends on whether it's classified as a food ingredient, dietary supplement, cosmetic, or drug. Mm. Additionally, those recommendations of diluting their pure essential oil in water, like we've said a billion times, essential oils are not water soluble, so you're getting an undiluted dose with that first sip, defeating the whole purpose of trying to dilute it in the first place.
Right.
Yeah, like I use them without issue, but I don't use them to cure anything. And to the extent that I use them to treat conditions like stress, I think it's pretty limited to like using lavender when I go to bed, or like using Vicks Vapo Rub when I'm congested.
Right. And that's what I'm saying is like it's so there's so many things that you can do that will make you feel better, but it's like when they talk about on Sawbones all the time. Nothing's a cure-all.
Yes.
If something says that it's going to cure all these things, they're lying. Nothing is a cure-all.
Yeah, cure-alls cure nothing.
Yes. Maybe like, no, I was going to say maybe water. But no, that's not curing things. It's just making you feel better because you got to drink water, you'll die.
Right.
Gary.
Yeah, so I have like, as far as like the MLMs are concerned, something that makes so much money is bound up to end up in our like social media feeds, especially when it comes to mental health and wellness stuff and those claims. And like I said, if you want more on the MLM side of things and the damage that doTERRA and Young Living do to people in particular, or just what MLMs do to people in general, there's plenty of podcasts. There's one called the Anti-MLM Podcast that goes way in depth on like income disclosure statements and how to read them and like what it means, because MLMs are required by the FTC to release these income disclosure statements.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, but they're pretty much free to format them however they want, which is how you look at that and it's like, all these people are making this much money, and then at the very bottom it'll be like, it says all the ranks and like leaves out the fact that the lowest rank listed on that income disclosure is like 15 up from where you start. So they explain all that in those podcasts, is my point. But I wrote, the Gary Young stuff is interesting, so I included it, but it was just a fun rabbit hole to see how much of a rotten scumbag that guy was throughout his whole life, allegedly. So I don't get sued.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like when we talked about Geraldo Rivera.
It's true. But I don't know that we've got any naked bathroom mirror selfies of Gary Young.
That's true.
Bummer.
That's true. And nobody wanted to cosplay as him, so.
So yeah, I mean, like, live your life. But in all of this research that I've done, nothing has convinced me that I need to add an essential oil regimen to my life in any way. All my sources, plus like all the podcasts I listen to, which I didn't include the podcast links in all the show notes because I just Googled like either anti-essential oil podcast or essential oil podcast. Young Living and doTERRA each have their own official podcast. By the way. So like, yeah.
Talk about the grift.
I know.
It's so exasperating.
It is. It really is. But yeah, so like I encourage you, like, check out what I've cited in the show notes and do your own research if you're interested in this.
Say, do your own research.
Yeah, like try to come at it from a place of neutrality if you want to see like what there is to it. But vet your sources and using something from like iloveherbalremedies.com is not perhaps reputable.
Essentialoils.biz.
And yeah, like I said, I mean, there's obviously, the UMass College of Botanical Medicine is a member of that organization that
Mm-hmm.
is trying to regulate herbal supplements and all this stuff, and that trade association. So there's reputable businesses that are trying to come together to make it so that these can be things that are relied on by people.
Right. For uses that they can reasonably be used for,
Correct.
not as a cure-all for fucking anything.
Right. Yes. But yeah, in
Well,
the
that was
meantime,
sufficiently exasperating and made me want to scream. And good job.
thank you.
It was great.
Yeah, so, skip the essential oil colon cleanse. Cause
Skip anything that's going to be labeled as a detox.
yeah.
That came up in something. I remember referencing that in something. Maybe it was the food and ADHD episode that we did. I remember like warning people to stay away from anything that says it's going to detoxify anything. Because it's a bunch of bullshit.
It's nonsense. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. You don't need to detox yourself. Your body does it.
Yeah.
You
Basically,
taking-
if Pinterest is telling you to do it, don't.
Yeah, Pinterest, like searching essential oil and ADHD on Pinterest is like an MLM wet dream.
Yes.
It is, and again, like all of these things are anecdotal. So even like
Yep.
people who are selling these things on like who are these independent distributors on social media, they'll say like, for me, I take this and I feel da 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 da, and they put it in this like anecdotal story again so that they don't get taken down, because Young Living does monitor all of their distributors' social media channels, and they will tell people to take something down if it's not correct. So I watched a YouTube video of somebody who was like, why I stopped being a Young Living distributor. And she was like this vlogger, and she was pissed because she like tried out a Young Living essential oil, and then like was trying out a different brand essential oil, and they like Young Living contacted her and was like, you're not allowed to talk about any other brand on the same channel that you talk about Young Living. And she was like, well, I'm a blogger though. Like that's what I do. I compare different products that I use. And they're like, you have to have a separate brand. So, or you have to have a separate like YouTube channel
Yeah.
to discuss it. You can't.
Which
do
then
that.
you lose your whole platform of people that you.
And that's what she said,
Yeah.
basically. So, like, she didn't say that she didn't like the products and, like, that she didn't like the business model. She just said, basically, she didn't like being told what to do. Which, like...
It's part of an MLM, girlfriend.
That's just it. Like, there's... And so, but they do monitor your social media channels. And so, when you have these people with small children at home saying, oh, I can clean anything with my thieves oil around and I don't have to worry about my kids getting into it. Yes, you do, and you should.
Yeah.
Like, look, I have, like, natural cleaners that I use to clean my apartment.
Yeah.
They smell nice. They have essential oils in them. My hand soap that I use in my bathroom it's scented with lavender essential oils.
Yeah. That's what I use for most stuff, but I'm also not drinking it, so.
I don't drink soap as much unless I say something bad. Just
Right.
kidding.
Just, I punish myself. That's ridiculous. I just choose to put hand sanitizer in food, and that
Yeah, then
does the trick.
if I go down, you're all coming with me.
Sink in the gravy train. I don't know what I'd be sinking a train in, but...
The channel, probably. Right?
When you get railed. Well, thank you for tuning in to our episode, Katie's excellent episode on essential oils.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're doing next week. Maybe we'll talk about more hormone stuff. Oh, we were going to get into diet stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll talk about some diet stuff, some health fad shit, to make everybody scream.
Yeah, I think it's good to go into summer reminding people that
Angry.
everybody's a beach body.
Yeah.
You just have to go to the beach.
Go into summer angry. I'll be angry this summer.
You will. That's for
Don't
sure.
worry. I will feel like I'm beached, and I will be angry all summer.
I just like to note, before we get into it, that last summer I asked you to get a pool. And you
refused.
told me no. And this summer you're going to end up in a kiddie pool in your backyard.
I am.
Getting hosed down.
Yes. Yes, I will.
Like Free Willy when they're transporting him to the
Yes.
ocean.
I will literally be like in one of those mobile tanks for an animal that needs to be transported because actually in reality I probably won't go outside. Somebody
I
was
don't think
joking
so.
with me about like, "Oh, you'll be so tan because you'll be spending all your time like at the beach to stay cool." And I was like, "No, I'll be inside laying on top of my air conditioner."
Yeah, yeah. Indoors has the air conditioner,
Yeah.
so I'll just be there.
Yeah. Unless you're going to give me a portable outdoor air conditioner that I can park in front of. I can I can see myself doing that thing like where you put a fan under your nightgown and then you
Yeah.
make it so you look like Stay Puffed.
Yeah,
That'll be me. Except that'll just be my existence.
right.
Because
He'll just be Stay Puffed.
I'll just be sweating all the time and cranky. So go into summer angry and stick it to the man.
And don't shove essential oils up your butthole with a colonic.
Don't put essential oils in any holes, actually.
Mm.
Don't put them in your eye holes, your nose holes, your mouth holes, your butt holes.
Yeah, only put us in your ear holes.
And we don't come with any essential oils.
Correct.
We're just... I don't know.
The essence in essential oil just makes me think of that part of Zoolander when he's like, moisture is the essence of wetness.
Yes, that's about how much
Wetness is
sense
the
it makes.
essence of beauty.
Yes.
Merman. So go be a merman and enjoy. This comes out after 420, so 427.
I hope you enjoyed 420 more than
For
I did.
Garrett, at least.
Yeah, enjoy it. I'm living vicariously through everyone actually enjoying it.
And I am panicking because I'm about to move when this comes out, so.
Just know that we're struggling while you're enjoying 420 and summer.
Yeah.
But stay angry.
Yeah, because the bar is ankle high.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll be here next Thursday with another episode to tingle your ear holes. In the meantime, the best way to support us is to follow us on Instagram at @thebarIsankleHigh and to subscribe and leave us a 5-star review on your preferred podcast streaming platform. It seems really simple, but it really is the best way to help us out, especially whenever you can actually write out a review. Great news! We have a new merch store that ships internationally and allows you to customize your merch on an endless array of products. You can head over to bit.ly/anklehighmerch to check it all out. If you want even more ankle high hot takes in your life and have a few dollars to spare, you can also join our Patreon at patreon.com/thebarIsankleHigh. There's 3 different tiers to choose from: $2 toe rings, $5 anklets, and $10 limbo champions. Everybody gets monthly horoscopes written by yours truly. Anklets get bi-weekly Dysfunction Junction episodes, and Limbo Champions get all of that plus ad-free episodes, and they get added to our close friends list on Instagram. So head on over to patreon.com/thebarIsankleHigh and join today. Until next Thursday, remember to be kind to yourself because the bar is ankle high.